Hey everyone, and welcome. We're about to do a quick but really important recap of the must-know current affairs from 2025-26. Think of this as a power session to get you totally prepped and confident for your exams.
So let's just ask the big question right away. Are you ready for the exam? We're about to go through all the key highlights of the year. But this isn't just a quiz, right? It's about connecting the dots and really understanding the big picture. So let's get started.
Okay, first up, national security. You know this is a super important topic, and questions from this area are pretty much guaranteed in any competitive exam. So let's really focus here.
Joint military exercises are always a hot topic. They tell us a lot about India's growing friendships on the world stage. Two of the biggest ones you need to know are Vajra Prahar with the US and Dharma with Japan. Now, you might think they sound similar, but their actual goals are worlds apart.
Check out this table. It breaks it down perfectly. Vajra Prahar is all about what they call interoperability. It's a fancy word, but it just means making sure our elite special forces and the U.S. forces can work together like a single unit on really complex missions. Dharma, on the other hand, is all about building trust and practicing combat tactics for cities and towns. Two very different goals. Hey, this is perfect for your revision, so you might want to grab a screenshot of this.
Okay, so moving on from our international partnerships, let's look closer to home at our internal security. Back in August 2025, the BSF, that's the Border Security Force, kicked off a really important operation on one of our most critical borders. Do you know which one?
And there it is, Operation Alert. The focus was squarely on the Rajasthan border. Now, details like the operation's name and its exact location are exactly the kind of direct questions that pop up in exams, so make sure you've got this one locked down.
Of course, modern national security is all about technology, and this is a huge deal. In 2025, the DRDO unveiled India's very first 5.5 generation stealth aircraft. This is a massive, massive leap for our defense capabilities.
It's called the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, or AMCA. So what's the big deal about it being 5.5 generation? Well, it means this jet is packed with next-level tech. We're talking advanced stealth that makes it nearly invisible to radar, super smart AI in its flight systems. It's a total game changer and a huge step towards being self-reliant in defense.
All right, from defense tech, let's switch gears completely and talk about the environment. This is another critical topic you'll find in pretty much every single competitive exam, so let's dive in.
Now, Project Cheetah has been in the news a lot, right? It's one of India's most ambitious conservation projects. And in November 2025, something amazing happened. A female cheetah that was actually born in India gave birth to 5 healthy cubs. This was a huge moment for the project.
This incredible event happened at Kuno National Park. But why is this such a big deal? Well, think about it. A second-generation birth is the #1 sign that the cheetah population might be able to sustain itself in the long run. It's exactly the kind of success story the project needed.
Now, from a conservation success story to one of our biggest challenges, air pollution. A recent report dropped a pretty shocking statistic about the effect of PM 2.5 pollution, those tiny harmful particles in the air, on our health.
The number is 5.3 years. Let that sink in for a moment. That's how many years are being cut from the average Indian's life just because of air pollution. It's a sobering fact, and for your exams, a stat like this is pure gold. You can use it in both your prelims and your mains answers. So, with challenges like that, how is India doing on the world stage when it comes to fighting climate change? You know how much exams love asking about international rankings, right? So let's take a look at the 2026 Climate Change Performance Index.
India landed the 23rd spot. Now, with rankings, the options in an exam can be super close, like 22nd, 23rd, 24th. So it's really important to remember the exact number. Lock it in your memory, 23rd for 2026.
All right, on to our final section. We're going to do a rapid fire round on some key updates from the world of economy, technology, and governance. These things are all connected, so let's see how.
You can bet you're going to see questions from the union budget. One of the most important numbers you need to know is the fiscal deficit. Just a quick reminder, this is basically the gap between what the government earns and what it spends, shown as a part of our total GDP.
And the number for 2025-26 is 4.4% of GDP. You absolutely have to star mark this one. The fiscal deficit tells us so much about the health of our economy and the government's borrowing plans. It's a crucial figure.
Okay, let's talk tech.
You know, with everything going digital, online scams and fraud are just everywhere, right? Well, to help us fight back, the government launched a special platform where you can report all those sketchy calls and messages.
It's called Chakshu. It's a tool made for us, the citizens, to help authorities catch these fraudsters. And the name is pretty cool. Chakshu actually means eye in Sanskrit, which is perfect, right? It's like keeping a watchful eye out for online crime.
And for our last point, let's talk about something really significant, a symbolic change that happened at Rashtrapati Bhavan. It's part of a bigger effort to replace symbols from the colonial era with our own national heroes.
So, out goes the statue of the British architect Edwin Lutyens, and in his place, a statue of C. Rajagopalachari. This is so important historically because Rajagopalachari was the one and only Indian Governor-General. It's a really powerful statement, shifting focus from our colonial past to the people who built our independent nation.
All right, so let's tie this all together really quickly. On the defense front, we're seeing this cool two-part strategy, making friends globally while also building our own stuff, like the AMCA. For the environment, it's a mixed bag. We have the good news from Project Cheetah, but also the serious problem of air pollution. For the economy, that 4.4% fiscal deficit is the number to watch. And in governance, we're seeing a clear move to embrace our own national identity.
And that brings me to a final question for you. When you look at everything we've talked about, defense, the environment, the economy, which one of these do you think is going to be the most critical for India's future in the next year? They're all connected, of course, but I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below. अगर आपको ये वीडियो हेल्पफुल लगा हो तो प्लीज़ लाइक, शेयर और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलना। सारे PDFs के लिए मेरा टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन करें। लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में है।